We are live, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. We are so excited, ladies and gentlemen, to have an awesome guest on the show with us today. You all will definitely want to tune in because this guy is going to help your customers with their claims. So tune in today.
The Carrier Experience Podcast is a show for anyone who wants to grow their agency and be a titan of the insurance industry. Learn from a panel of experts who share their agency struggles, their experiences with the nation's best carriers, and share the marketing secrets that successful insurance agents are using today. Now, here's your host, the insurance bro, James Cias.
Insurance bro. So, quick side note here, we're going to be doing something a little bit different here. We're going to be talking to a bunch of insurance pros. That's what it's about. We're talking to a lot of insurance pros, but here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's that time again for the Insurance Bro Show. Before we jump into the show, a quick reminder to please give us a like, give us a subscribe on whichever platform it is that you are listening to us on right now. Give us a follow, give us a review. It'll help us show up that much higher on search results so that all of those other agents out there that are looking for good value and knowledge and education can find us that much easier. If you want to be a guest on the Insurance Bro Show, give us a holler. Go to www.insurancebroShow.com/guest. And don't forget to follow me on all my social media at Insurance Bro Show. So here's our intro for our guest. I have been in the insurance industry, ladies and gentlemen, for 7 years now. And even though I've seen these words together multiple times, I didn't know what a public adjuster was or how it was beneficial to me and to my customers. During the first conversation with today's guest, he told me that 90% of the general population and a huge chunk of insurance agents are in the same boat and don't know how much a public adjuster can help them in their agency. As a public adjuster, our guest today is someone who will educate and advocate on behalf of policyholders against insurance companies, making sure they understand their rights, are treated fairly, and are properly compensated by the insurance company at the time of loss. So I'm super excited to interview this guest and bring all of you some super valuable information. Joining us today from across the coast, from Metro Public Adjustments in New Jersey, welcome to the show, Robert Bura. Ooh, Robert, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us today.
That is the best introduction because it was a very accurate introduction.
Very accurate in a lot of different ways. I mean, first of all, we're talking about something that very few people even know that this service exists. Tell us a little bit about what a public adjuster is, how they're beneficial to all of us insurance agents, and, how'd you get into the business to begin with?
I'll start with how I got into the business. I have been doing IT for many years and looking for my own path. And after getting laid off for first time from a company, I ran to a job fair and I ran into this business. And I was like, wow. The first thing that happened to me was the person who hired and trained me taught me the truth about how I was not being treated fairly by my insurance company because they raised my rates on my policy, which they shouldn't have for one claim in 18 years in my home. I was able to, after a tree falling on my house, receive, I think it's about $1,600 or $1,800. I don't remember the exact amount from my insurance company. It was a letter of apology for a bookkeeping error and restoring my rates back to pre-loss rates.
What?
That's so we.
Damn!
Okay,
that's
I didn't realize you had shtick there with these things, but great. You got a few more.
Yeah, we like to keep things fun.
A few more opportunities for those. If you got a few more, I'll give you opportunities to use that.
Awesome.
Insurance companies do things the way they do it with the hopes that people don't understand the truth. They're preying or cashing in on people not knowing the truth regarding how insurance works, the do's and the don'ts. So I've seen people all kinds of crazy things. But going back to
for
who and
sure,
what,
for sure.
going
Let
back,
me, if you don't mind, when
sure.
we buy insurance as consumers,
Hmm.
we're buying this product, right? It's a product, even though it's not a tangible product, but we're buying this product with the expectation that when we need it, it's going to pay for whatever it is that we lost, be it our car, our home, our business, whatever the case might be. And there are a lot of times when we don't get as much money as we expect, or if we do get what you're talking about right now, where the rates all of a sudden skyrocket. We have to pay double what we were paying before. So how does a public adjuster advocate for us as consumers and get us, what we need and what we deserve?
So first of all, in many states, a public adjuster only works with property, residential and commercial, not
Mhm.
healthcare, not auto. It's my understanding that there are some states, and I can't tell you which ones that are there, that a public adjuster will do both auto and property. But that's not
Okay.
what we do. We stick specifically to property. So here, I'm going to give you another one of those opportunities to use your fancy buttons. Okay. The average homeowner, business owner, in a course of 30 years, spends in excess of $30,000 in premiums for nothing because most people go on and don't. Okay. So insurance company executives get paid millions of dollars and get millions of dollars of bonuses. Because why? Because these premiums are annuities to the insurance company.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
so I say to people, would you rather have this the $30,000 plus that you spend in the pockets of the insurance company to do with what they want, which is to add to their $1.2 trillion of cash in the bank, or would you like to come back and get what comes to you? And what I'd like to do is circle back and explain to people that a public adjuster is somebody who's licensed by the Banking Insurance Commission of the state that they operate in,
Hmm.
basically to be a public advocate. So there's three kinds of adjusters in the insurance industry. There's the insurance adjuster. When you have a problem, they send the guy out to your house. He's working for the insurance company. His best interest is the insurance company,
Hmm.
not yours. Then there's an independent who works for multiple insurance companies. He's like a free agent. Okay. Then there's a public adjuster. We represent you, the policy owner, against the insurance company. There's only one reason why a person gets, well, there's two reasons. You get insurance in your property. The obvious is because of the fact that you have to.
Yeah.
But for many people, their homes are their largest assets,
Right.
right?
Most of us.
So
Yeah.
So the only reason you get really insurance is to protect your asset. If you have a mortgage, you have a fiduciary responsibility, which is called an insurable interest. That
Right.
insurable interest means that if something, God forbid, happens to your property, the insurance is expected to bring the property back to pre-loss condition, pre-loss value. The problem here is the insurance company does not have that insurable interest. So typically they will pay you only 20 to 40 cents on the dollar. We
20 to
get you
40%.
set 20 to 40 cents on the dollar. Our job is to get you the whole dollar. Insurance
Hmm.
company agents, in my presentation, is the best way to show it. We show a picture of a house that hit by a car. And in it, we talk about how the owner was thrilled to get like $50,000. We came along and we got him like another $150,000. Why? Because the house had come off its foundation. The insurance
Oh.
company only looks at what you show them. They have
Hmm.
no responsibility to look left. They have no responsibility to look right, up, down, or behind. So the only way the insurance company would have paid off on their own would have been if you, the homeowner, had asked, "Is my house still on its foundation? Has anything happened to my foundation?" Hadn't asked that specific question. I personally call this the fact that the insurance company doesn't have a legal obligation to disclose that unless you ask that question. But I asked the question: don't they have a moral responsibility?
You would think. You
So
would
that's the
think.
that's so the so our company Metro is the only true nationwide public adjusting company in the country. Just about every other public adjusting company are small, local, regional mom and pops.
Mhm.
Okay. These guys can only handle a certain amount of business because they only have a certain number of people. Okay. We have people in every state licensed for claims. There are several states that don't require a public adjustment license. We also have a nice large staff in our Bensalem, Pennsylvania office to deal with all the insurance related issues, the insurance company, the mortgage company, the insured, all the different legal things that need to go on. You have a certain number of days to respond. You have to respond in certain ways, all these different things. So we handle. So the point is, these large public adjusters only handle what makes sense to them financially. $100,000, the catastrophic loss.
It's the only
Our,
way that it would make
that's it.
sense, of course. Yeah.
Right, right. We have all these people in our back office. My job is to identify a potential claim. Then I have field engineers um, all over the place who get involved, and they deal with the insurance company. And we have the back office. So we'll do
So
based
let's
on
let's
what.
actually let's walk
Well,
through
let me
this
just finish
really
the point
quick.
thought, if
Oh,
you don't
go
mind.
ahead. Go ahead.
So basically, we'll do anything that makes financial sense based on the legislation of that state.
Of that state.
Meaning, somebody here in New Jersey or someone in Wisconsin, we will deal with anything that's, say, a few $1,000s, 3 to 4 times your deductible. So if you've got a deductible 1,000, if
Mhm.
it's 4 or 5 or 6, we'll deal with it. Where my competition will only deal with that $80,000-$100,000 loss because that's
Got
all
it.
they have the time for. So we are flexible. And just one other quick thing, if I may throw in, one of the
Sure.
biggest things that we provide that other people don't provide is what I call an educational policy review. Now get ready with your sound effects. Okay. Uh, as I say, give me 25 minutes and I'll get a whole bunch of holy cows. What the heck you talking about, Willis? And why the heck doesn't everybody know about that? And why didn't I know about you 2 years ago when this tree fell on my house or I had a leaking roof? So we go over the truths about your insurance policy. Truth number one: most people are afraid to put a claim in on their policy because they're afraid
100%.
their rates are going to go up.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, because their agents typically tell them something along those lines. It's, be careful
So
with the claims that you submit. If it's going to be something large, then go ahead and submit that claim. But if your deductible is $1,000 and the loss is 1,500, don't
doesn't
bother.
make sense. But if it's 5,000, 6,000, here's the number one truth. Based on your insurance policy and based on the state where you are located, you may be entitled to as many as 3 claims every 5 years without the insurance company pulling that we're raising your rates for a claim crap.
What? 3 to 5
But you may be able to have as many as 3 claims every
in
5
5
years.
years? 3
Right.
claims in 5 years.
Number 2, never, ever, ever, ever call your insurance company for anything other than making a change to your policy. Why? Because the insurance companies in most cases will consider that a claim. If you call to have a discussion about something, hey Joe, if this happens or whatever, will this be covered? Boom, they consider that a claim. So
in
the
those
other
cases, should customers call a public adjuster?
Yeah, we'll help you. We'll help you evaluate what's going on and make the determination without contacting your insurance company, or
Mhm.
whether it's something that we can help you with, or if we can't help you because it's only a couple thousand, we can potentially give you some advice and some suggestions. That phone call you make to the insurance company, this call is being recorded for quality and training purposes.
Mhm.
Everybody's
Mhm.
known that's insurance ease for all we need is one wrong word from you, and we can deny your claim. 60% of claims are denied on the first call to the insurance company. Here's a perfect example. Your water heater bursts, your
Mhm.
basement floods. That's what you tell the insurance company. First thing the insurance company is going to ask is everybody okay? Good, because your claim's denied. Why? Your water heater's not part of your policy. And you don't have flood insurance, you have homeowners insurance.
Right.
Water, which is the number one peril in homes, is
Yep.
also excluded in most, if not all, policies by itself. But
Water
I'll take
backup.
that
Right.
claim. I'll take that claim. Why? Because what really happened to you is you had an accidental discharge of water from an enclosed pipe that was connected to your water heater. And as a result of this accidental discharge of water, here's a list of all the damages that occurred. One word can get your claim denied.
Yeah, you use that word flood, and that's it.
You can't handle the truth.
We call flood the F word.
Yeah.
That's the F word. Never use the F word to the insurance company. We are your defense attorney. If you got one of Perry Mason, bring it up, because we are your defense attorney for you. So the insurance adjusters don't have to have the licensing that a public adjuster has. Okay. And an insurance adjuster gets significant more time trained on how to deny the claim. Their whole thing is denying,
they're looking
delaying,
for that one word,
pushing you away to the point where you go, "Uncle, I give up."
Because insurance companies, they're in the business of making money, right? You called it an annuity. Every time you're making your insurance payment, it's an annuity. It's a payment that you're making to the company. They're holding that money. They're investing it. They're doing whatever it is that they do. And they don't want to give you that money back. They don't want to pay out claims. They're going to deny claims as much as they possibly can. And if you say the wrong word, that's it. That's all it takes.
Right. So insurance companies have two departments, which is, in many cases act as different business entities. There's the sales department, the ones that spend billions of dollars in advertising,
marketing,
and then
all
there's
those guys,
the service department, just like your copier, your printer. The guy who sells it to you and the guy who services it are different people. So in general, the more an insurance company, let me get to another truth for you. The more an insurance company advertises, either the more expensive your policy is going to be, or the more there's going to be fiscal gaps. So as part of that education and policy review we do, first we educate you, and then we take a look at your policy. Over 90% of policies are incorrect. Notice I didn't say wrong. They're incorrect. Why are they incorrect? Because they contain multiple fiscal gaps. For example, your house is insured for $500,000, but the liability you have on the policy is only $350,000. Again, we talk about the annuity. You have a 2% deductible for high wind or hurricane, or for hail. Nobody should have more than $1,000 to $1,500 deductible, period. We show you how to get rid of that 2% deductible on a $500,000 home, which is a $10,000 deductible.
Eek.
I had several people claims. We had here in the north tropical storm Isaias. I was able to help several people, even though they had 2% deductibles, because it was a tropical storm, not a hurricane. I had several people with high wind. I wasn't able to help them. I even had one woman who's been living in her house for 35 years. As it turns out, she had renter's insurance. She didn't even have a homeowner's policy.
What?
Exactly. So we see people, for example, that I've seen people with sump pumps without a sump pump coverage. Or I've seen people.
I hope you're insured.
I told you I don't do auto. You get a tree falling on a house for a hurricane next time. Come on.
Yeah, but the message is there, man. You say, we hope you're insured, and so many people think they are, and that's one of the things that we are really looking for as insurance agents, is to be that point of contact where we provide a true education. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you on, is because there's so much in the claims process that us as agents, we don't necessarily get into the weeds on. We don't, we have the conversations with the claims adjusters, but who's there to fight for the agent? I mean, a lot of times I'll say, well, you got to talk to a lawyer, but we actually have now a resource, a public adjuster that we can talk to, especially in our property claims. So kind of walking through this, let's say that I have a claim as a homeowner. Tree falls on my house, like we're talking about, or car crashes into it, whatever the case might be. The first call I make is not to the insurance company. It's
You're
going to be
listening. I said never, ever, ever call the insurance company.
never
except to
call
make
the insurance company. So I'm going to call you, right? I'm going to call you first. I'm going to say, I love that. Who are you going to call? You're going to call a public adjuster.
Oh, I thought
I'm going to call Robert.
would come across the screen there or something.
So I'm going to call Robert and I'm going to say, Robert, I had a tree fall on my house. What should I do? Like, how do I file a claim? Should I file a claim? What should I tell the insurance company? And then you're going to coach me on what to say?
Well, the first thing you do is you send me a couple of pictures with a copy of the declaration page, not the whole 100-page
Just the
policy,
declarations
the
page.
3 to 5 pages. I will take a look at that and I'll have a conversation with you. And then we'll talk about what's going on and we'll talk about your policy. And then we will help you. A public adjuster will get, on average, 300 to 600% more coverage for you because we look left and right, we look up and down. In addition to that, remember I talked to you about how an insurance company doesn't have an insurable interest, it only offers you 25 to 40 cents on average.
Sure.
Okay. So they will pretend that they are in charge, that they own the money. Okay. And they'll ask you for bills, receipts, and you'll have to show every penny spent.
Right.
Okay. Again, they don't have the insurable interest in your property. So if I get you 5, 10, 20, 30, whatever it is, we will get you in many cases, most or all of that money up front, less potentially deductible depreciation, replacement cost kind of thing. So your money, you control the money. So you don't have to do that. Okay.
It's awesome.
Insurance companies pretend like they do because people don't understand. You take your policy, you put it in an escrow with your taxes and your mortgage, and you never look at it again. Most people go.
You expect to be covered.
20. You expect. Now, working with an independent insurance agent versus a big company is better because they represent multiple carriers. You have a knowledge and you're not brainwashed into the friendly neighbor syndrome kind of deal. And you're more educational. So in general, the independent agents that I work with know a lot more. Some know more than others, some know less than others. But you guys, it's your job to take care of. I'm here. I work with a multitude of independent insurance agents. And part of what I do is I will advise you, especially if you have one of the big four. And since we're on a national broadcast, I will just refer to them as your good neighbor, your friendly neighbor, the person who's seen a thing or two or helps you because you've been in the military. And that's as far as I'll go. But you can look up and see the ones that spend literally billions of dollars on advertising. And I recommend that you go talk to somebody else. I can't say go to Joe, go to Fred. I could say here's a list of 2 or 3 agents that I've worked with that know of and that do a good job. And if these people and you get along, you like to say, if not, find some. But always get a second opinion. You should also have your policy reviewed annually or every couple of years. I did a claim
annually at least. Yeah.
I did a claim for someone who moved there, people don't understand anything that's physical and accidental is covered. Okay. So I'll give you an example. My 16-year-old daughter comes home 2 hours late on curfew and I practice bad parenting, good parenting 101. Go to your room. We'll talk about it in the morning. Nothing good is going to come of this conversation, right? You know exactly what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
But
I was that kid.
And you get to an argument, and you're too close to the wall, and I punch a hole in the wall, and releasing energy. I ask you, James, is that covered under your policy?
I mean, that would be way under my deductible, so I wouldn't even necessarily
I'm not asking about that. I'm saying,
is it covered? I don't think so because it sounds intentional.
Okay. Releasing energy like that. Did you intend to do that and punch a hole in the wall? Or what happens if you punch a hole in the wall or you knock something over that's valuable, like the TV screen or the stereo, or a hutch or something, and it comes falling on a dining room table and a whole. Okay. The answer is yes.
There you go.
That can be completely covered. Anything that's sudden and accidental and you don't have an intent to do has the potential to be an insurable claim. Even mold can be an insurable claim if it comes from water above the ground. Anytime water enters your home from above the ground, it has potential to be an insurable claim. I have a claim in litigation with one of those 4 companies because they refused, not only did they refuse to pay, but the mitigation company they sent in caused significant additional damage to the owner's home because there was a leak where they would never even realize to look. And one day a painting fell down. A whole long story behind that.
And
but
then they found out that the drywall was all rotted out. And
yeah, people don't
oof.
understand that this is an asset for you to maintain. The last time I did an inspection in a home, me personally, because of everything that's going on, I found a scratch behind the refrigerator. The owner informed me that they every year or every 1 or twice a year they pull the refrigerator freezer out to vacuum. It's like you could eat in the floor kitchen. Okay, they scratch the floor, wood floor. Okay, as it turns out, the flooring isn't that large. I'm terrible in square footage. 400 square, 500. None of these huge things, one of these tiny. So it turns out the flooring, the wood flooring, was put in first before the cabinetry was put in. So the only way to get the house back to pre-loss value, okay, is to pull everything out and fix the scratch and surface and refinish everything. To do that, you have to pull the cabinets and the cabinetry out. Once you pull it out, potentially you can't put it back. There might be a hairline fracture.
That's literally that happened to my kitchen here in my condo. So
that's we point out. I find one piece of cup wood floor by your refrigerator, by your sink, by your dishwasher. That's enough to potentially get that floor fixed.
Wow.
So here's
if you talk to a public adjuster.
Right. So I'll give you another one. Okay. Let's say you've been this summer, you were home and you're home with your family and your air conditioner is running like crazy because you're not at work. And it's a nice day and you decide to take the family to the beach. I'm going to leave and there's no rain in the forecast. Well, it doesn't go for San Diego because you guys in San Diego are a different category.
We get rain about 6 times a year.
Right. So, but anywhere else in the country, okay? Let's say in Jersey, let's make it Jersey. You go to the shore, you leave the windows open. Now, the second floor of your house, you have really high-end, say, Burberry carpet. And you got, say, 1,200, 1,400 square foot, and the whole carpeting runs throughout the whole second floor of the house. No breaks, no nothing, continual, okay? So let's say in New Jersey, we're famous for those late afternoon, early evening thunderstorms that pop out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah.
So all the windows are open. Let's say in the southeast corner of your house, you have the smallest room. You use a study or a little library, and it's maybe 5 by 10, just enough to put a couch in and a little, let's say that floor, that gets wet, the carpeting. Do you ever walk on carpet that buckles when you walk? Just like comes up?
Yeah. All the foam underneath, everything's just rotted out.
That's called delamination. So what delamination is, in the back side of the carpeting, the plastic, the rubber that used to go touch the floor, once that gets wet, it disintegrates. It's called delamination. Okay, so so your insurance company may say, okay, we're going to send in a mitigation company. We're going to clean, deodorize everything. They're good. Let's say you fight it and you get to replace the carpeting in that floor, in that one room. Okay. Now, I don't fix, I don't upgrade, I don't repair, I don't do any of that kind of stuff. Okay. I don't match. What I do is you have to pre-loss. So let's say they replace the carpet in that one room, and the carpet in that one room isn't quite the same as the rest of the house, and the continuous run of that second floor. You go to sell your house a couple of years from now.
Oh boy.
And they're going to ask you what's going on with this room, and you're going to be, and you're an honest person like me, and you're going to tell them.
Real estate laws, you have to disclose everything anyway.
Right. So what has the insurance company maintained the value of your asset?
Not really.
Right. So as a public adjuster, I will ask the insurance company to give you the money required to replace the carpeting in the entire floor of the house.
So that it
that
all
room.
matches all the way through.
Right.
Give it a 10. A 10.
That's perfect.
So again, as I remind you, we get you control of the money. What you do and what you decide to do with the money is not our issue. I just get you what's coming up that you deserve.
I got one real quick question for you. How does a public adjuster get paid? Is this something that I have to pay as the consumer, or does it get paid as part of the claim?
So we are a free service, not a FEE and FREE service, in that you will never put your hands in your pocket. Now, remember I told you that we get you 3 to 6 times more money than you would get on your own on average. Remember I told you we get you control of the money, right?
Yep.
So we get a professional services fee only when we help you get a settlement that ranges anywhere from 10 to 35%. Again, it depends on what state you're in.
Yeah.
Some states it could be 8%. That's what it is in New Jersey. Okay, I don't know off the top of my
Fantastic,
head in California.
It's all good.
I know California
Probably higher.
No, it's lower. California, I believe, is one of the capped states. There are several states that have severe regulation. I told you, the Banking
California.
Insurance Commission of the state regulates the industry, regulates the adjuster. Okay, New York, for example, Texas, Florida are horrible as far as a public adjuster and regulation. California is, I believe, a capped state as well, meaning it's a much smaller amount. So in California, I'll only get involved when it's a larger loss. If you're in New Jersey, you're in Wisconsin, you're in Delaware, you're in Atlanta, you're in Virginia, you're in the Carolinas, and other states. I don't want to go through the whole list.
For our listener base in California, what's the minimum threshold we're looking at?
It's got to be I would guess at least it's got to be close to $100,000 for us to get involved because of the cap. But again,
because of the cap, yeah.
Every state. I'm assuming that the large majority of people here are California, but you have other people.
For sure.
I will and want to help as many people in California as I can. There's been a lot of people that have lost their property because of the wildfires.
Yeah.
I would love an opportunity to make sure, because we had a thing called Superstorm Sandy here in New Jersey several years back.
Yep.
I can only imagine what the insurance company, the crap that they've already started to pull in California. So if you're in California, listen to my contact information is in here. I would love to talk to you about what's going on. I may or may not represent you, but I'd love to talk to anybody that could use my assistance, my help, my guidance.
Perfect.
Shoulder.
Hey, Robert, for our listening audience, for anybody who's not watching, but anybody who's listening on the podcast apps, which you can get from either iTunes, Spotify, anywhere where you find your podcast, why don't you tell our listening audience how they can get in touch with you, the best ways?
Okay. You can get hold of me by simply calling me, 973-270-4044. That's 973-270-4044. Or my email is Robert. That's Robert, B as in boy, Robert B. Dot. That's period. Dot. Metro PA. METROPA. Metro PA @gmail.com. So that's Robert B. metropA@gmail.com. I have a Calendly link, which it's a little too, don't want to explain to confuse people, or I'm guessing the people can get hold of you directly as well. I'm also Robert Bura, Public Advocate, Robert Bura, Public Adjuster on Facebook, or just simply Robert Bura on LinkedIn as well. LinkedIn.
I'm your huckleberry.
LinkedIn is more my IT professional of that, and my Facebook is specifically and only geared towards my public adjusting. And this podcast is going to be linked to my Facebook page. I was going to do a live myself, but I was advised by not to do that for a couple of different reasons. So I'm obviously respectful. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, now it's already shared to your page. Don't worry about it.
No, I got it. I got it. But basically, I want to help. My job is to help, to teach, to advocate. Our business card is to educate and protect the policyholders. You don't know what you don't know, and the insurance companies are banking hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars a year on your lack of knowing what the real story is.
100%. 100%. All right, Robert. Well, it has been a blast getting to know you and getting to learn everything that a public adjuster does. I thank you so much for spending some time with us. For everybody else who's listening in, don't forget to follow me on all social media at Insurance Bro Show. Don't forget also to leave a comment, subscribe, like, review, rate our show. Help us show up higher on all of those search results. And if you want to be a guest on the Insurance Bro Show, if you want to be an insurance pro on the Insurance Bro Show, go to www.insurancebroshow.com/guest, and I'll be super excited to have you on the show, write you a fire intro, and get your information out there. So once again, Robert, thank you so much for spending some time with us today.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I appreciate it, and I had fun talking with you this afternoon.
You as well. All right, everybody else. Thank you so much. You rock my socks. You have my hearts. As always,
have a nice day. Thank you for tuning in to the Carrier Experience Podcast. James is the CEO of the Pipeline team of San Diego and is always in the market for top talent. If you are an agent looking for a place to hang your license, visit pipelineinsurance.com/agent opportunities or send an email to newagent@pipelineinsurance.com. You can find James on all social media at Insurance Broham.